Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Get it all out. Get it all out. Just let it out. Right, in your sleeve. You good? One more for Divine. You want to do it again for Divine? Well, actually, no. Let's not do it for Divine. Let's do it for the gram. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, you all. Welcome to the BGKH show with Dominion and Epic. I am Epic.
I am Dominion.
And again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Wednesday, March 11th.
The 11th.
Of March. We're 2 days away from the Ides of March. Mm-hmm. Or is that today? No, it's the 13th.
No, the Ides of March is the 15th.
Is it the 15th or 13th?
The 15th.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we're 4 days away from the Ides of March.
It's the day my sister was born, so beware the Ides of March.
Listen.
Beware. Just letting you know now.
Happy early birthday to Dominion's sister. We're gonna say
the usurper is what she is.
You know what? I'm gonna leave that all alone.
She was supposed to be born on April the 15th, but she forced herself to be born a month early just to vex me.
Well, that sounds like a Dominion family trait to kind of just come on out when they want to, make their own presents.
Oh.
No. No.
I feel like that was a read.
No. That is not a read.
I feel red.
If you feel red, it's because something that you've been internalizing for a minute. But bitch, when you want to be seen, you want to be seen.
Well, you know.
I mean, it just is what it is.
You know.
So, but
we get done coming to you exclusively on VoxWave.com. VoxWave 37.3 on your FM dial.
VoxWave 37.3 on your FM dial. There's music in there. Thank you for tuning in to Vox. It's a whole bunch of stuff in there. But
yes.
So anyway, but yes. So, how was your week?
All right. How was your week?
My week was okay. I'm asking you first. How was your week?
Okay. How was your week?
Okay. So my week was great, and it was kind of relaxed. I didn't have to work. I had a day off. It was a lazy day, and I went in to clean up some stuff and do some stuff for work for the program that I had to work with. And other than that, so far it's been good. I have a up and coming interview that's going to be coming up on Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. And so far it's been pretty good. Tonight my engine light came on, which is interesting. So
that's good. We're all just having a wonderful week, aren't we?
Yeah, it just
it's just wonderful, isn't it? It's just wonderful. It's wonderful. Just having an awesome week.
So we're going to go ahead and dash over that next part where you and just start talking about.
Well, you asked me how my week was.
I did ask you how your week was. So I'm sorry. I'm going to have to allow you to week. How was your week?
Shit.
Is that any different than any of the other shitty weeks that we've had?
Particularly shit.
Is that any different than any of the particularly shitty weeks that we've had?
Yeah, because before I had a job.
Is that anything different than any other particular shitty week when we did not have a job? Because remember, we've both been there.
I don't appreciate how you keep trying to deflect my attempt to be negative. I just want to be negative right now. I just want to be mad.
You know what? By all means. By all means. Move at a negative pace.
I'm mad.
And
but I'm fine. Listen, life must go on. It was through nobody's fault, So I went from listen, it's not Redacted Airline. I don't work there no more, so. Redacted Airline.
Well, wait. You might go. I mean, there's a possibility you could go back. I'm trying to be, I'm trying
I
to see the
tend
silver lining in this
tend
cloud.
to move forward and not back.
Well,
So,
all right, there it is.
Redacted Airlines was United Airlines. I mean, I don't know that was a huge shock to anyone. No one is like, what?
I mean, other than Mr. DC Eagle, who was like, who is Redacted Airlines? I don't understand.
I was like, oh, girl, I'm so glad you're pretty. Who thank
It's like,
God.
who is Redacted Airlines? But we love you. we love you.
And so, I was a contractor to United Airlines because, they was a new role and everything. And when I tell you, it's not bragging to say that I was a rock star. Like, people all the way up to just about the CEO knew of the work that I was doing at Dulles Airport. So when a vacancy opened up at Newark to take over that position, which would have then been managing Newark and LaGuardia. We don't have any flights out of JFK. Plus Dulles. That was like, that'd have been the great promotion. That's exactly why I left the federal government. Everything was lovely. And then, so I flew up there, had on my beautiful blue suit that, everybody liked, and, the festive tie and everything. And so that was lovely. And that all went well. And, like people was telling me, it's like, girl, the dude who used to be my boss and the dude who is currently my boss was like, you're the only candidate, right? So, you're in the driver's seat, right? She was like, so, don't ask for nothing super crazy, but ask for something crazy.
But that's all right.
Don't ask for like a new Jaguar, but ask for a company car.
I mean,
see if they put you up in their corporate apartments. So, all of that kind of stuff. And then, so that was what, 2.5 weeks ago? And then nothing. But we knew there wasn't going to be nothing for at least a week to a week and a half. Then, they shut down the entire country of Italy.
Thanks, Corona.
Right. So,
thanks, COVID-19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 3, 2, 1, and
right.
all the rest of you
6, 7, 8, 9.
Right.
Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, phi, rho, sigma, tau, epsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. There you go. We just have to do it with a lit match.
Or alpha, beta, delta, gamma, epsilon. There was a song.
But you have to strike. But I also was like, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, epsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. And then that's how we taught the pledges. But then when they had to recite it, you strike a match and be like, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, epsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. And girl, if you got your fingers burnt, then you need to learn that shit faster. And that was the closest we ever came to hazing, because it was architecture fraternity. We ain't about all that shit. And, architecture fraternity, anything, you burn your fingers, your whole fucking career is out to class.
Like, oh, damn, I'm in the frat, but I ain't got no job. I can't make no damn sketches.
Oh, Jesus, I can't draw. And, this is the 90s, where people, now the girls all do their drawings on the computer. I'm going to draw this line, click, and add this whole wall section. Girl, I had to be here with this pen and this paper, like, oh shit, the paper's all fuck.
Everything's all,
and it's all in wet ink, and you like blowing it anyway. So COVID, whatever.
Yeah.
So then they were like, oh, okay, well, the situation is fluid. Thank you for your flexibility. How about you stay on as the PM at Dulles, but then also manage the responsibilities at Newark? And I got that on last Friday. So I paused on that until I talked to my boss at my company. So I was like, so what can I ask for? She was like, girl.
Ask for the moon.
No, she was like, girl, they are letting bitches go. So the fact that they are making a place for you, just take your place and shut the fuck up. And just like stand there.
I'm going to just slide right on in here like this. Right,
just stand there. Because, I wasn't going to ask for anything crazy, but I was like, all right, so if y'all want me, what does that mean? Am I expected to literally, it's an airline, so commuting don't mean nothing.
Right.
Literally, like, go to Reagan every day, fly up to, it's like a 45-minute flight. But no, 30 minutes. Whatever. But it's really
It
up
might be
and then
45, yeah, it might be
straight back
45
down.
minutes. Might be
And
45
so, did they expect me to do that every day, or are they gonna pay for me to stay in a hotel? I mean, what is going to happen?
Right.
And she was like, just take the job.
And go
And
sit
then-
your ass down. Then you'll figure out.
Because at a minimum, they know that you're not relocating to Newark, so they're gonna pay for a hotel. So don't worry about none of that. And there were 175 people in my division. On Friday, we already knew that 172 of them were going to be let go. Well, they didn't know. I knew because my boss knows all of the people who make the hiring decisions at Randstad, at United. And so there was a new org chart that had my name, like right there. This other person's name right there. Third person's name right there. We were all good to go, right? We were all good to go up until 3:59 yesterday. Then the big bosses told my big boss that everybody got to go. Everybody.
So then the question is now, with the few flights that are still remaining and the things that they are doing, how are they able to manage? Your big boss is managing those now?
85% of the people in the division, there was 75 people plus another 20 or 30. Mm-hmm. I'm exaggerating. It's more than that. But they are already permanent United employees. So they're going to take over this work. But see, the thing is that the work that I was managing $500 million worth of construction.
Okay.
And when you add, and that was just at Dulles.
Right.
When you added the shit in at Newark, I would have been managing like almost $3 billion worth of construction.
Okay. Which is a lot.
But all of those projects are on hold at least until July. And since those projects are on hold, there ain't shit for me to do. And the few projects that are continuing can be handled by all of those other people in addition to the stuff that they're already doing. So anyway, today was my last day at Redacted/United Airlines. And I honestly, when our CEO had a town hall yesterday, he was like, listen, European bookings are net negative 100%, meaning literally twice as many people are canceling flights as are booking new ones. So they're in a net. So if this is the zero line and you want to stay up here, they're down here somewhere. People aren't booking flights in Europe at all.
Yeah.
Flights to Asia are practically non-existent because United has one of the biggest investments of any airline in the Asian market, particularly China and Japan, and places that are hard hit.
They got hit. I mean, they got put front and center during the Olympics.
Right.
Oh my God, they were the official airline, I think.
Exactly. Exactly. So, with all of that, and then even domestic bookings are down 20%. So, it ain't like nobody said, "Oh, I don't like him, so he got to go."
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the
when
day,
I say, we went from a division of 250 people, 175 contractors or whatever, down to them plus the three of us contractors, meaning that they considered me and these two other people
as
essential personnel to not the running of Dulles or Newark, but essential to the running of United Airlines. And they cut us. So I was like, all right, well, what can you do? However, it wasn't bullshit, but it was like low-key foolishness today. So they want to get me on the phone, talking about...
I hope you're not going to say what I think you're ready to say, but go ahead.
It was like, so let's walk... I had to fill out this little spreadsheet, the transition plan where everything was. And he's like, so... put everything... Listen, because when I say I'm a rock star, it's because I'm organized, because I know what the fuck I'm doing. So it's like, where'd you put all this stuff? I was like, everything's on the SharePoint. So where are the it's on the SharePoint. So, you built this whole application. You built this new application. It's on the SharePoint. So I just want to make sure, everything is on the SharePoint. It's on the SharePoint. Do you have the link for the SharePoint? If you read that fucking document that you not call me, but message me bright and early. I told you I would get it to you by noon. Here you come at 9 o'clock in the morning, talk about, you got that document done yet? Bitch, is it noon? If you read that document, at the bottom, here go the link to everything that I created. And by the way, that is not a regular SharePoint. I built an application on Microsoft Teams. I built an entire application to bring in new stuff. Bitch, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And so I know he was like, oh, girl, I thought I was just going to be able to let this shit slide. But now these hoes are going to have expectations that I'm going to come in and manage stuff the same way he did. Well, bitch, you wouldn't have to do that if you kept me on board. Now, while I understand with this whole Kofefe, 692, girl, and here's the thing. Don't be calling me.
So I was getting ready to say, I hope he's not getting ready to say, so would you mind coming in, just once or twice in the next couple of weeks to just do something?
Yes, at $100 an hour.
I would mind. I'm gonna need you all to pay me.
Yeah, I mean, and
one. They need you, so you might as well jack that on up to 2.
Yeah. But whatever it is, it won't be, because when the phone rings, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna look at the phone, because any call from United, it never says the person's name. It always says United Airlines. So I'll let it go to the voicemail, and then I'll see what it is, and if it's foolishness, then I'm gonna be like, because first of all, if he calls, I know it's foolishness. If it's the big boss, then I'm gonna answer it either way, because big boss might be like, girl, we need you back.
Exactly. That's why.
Immediate. So I'm gonna answer her call.
Okay.
But if it's him, I'm going to be like, girl, I don't know what to tell you. Because, I put all the shit in the folder. You don't want to walk through the folders. But see, I'm not one of these bitches that keep everything on the desktop. Everything was already in a folder. And I emailed you my PST of every email that I've sent, and every email transaction that I've had over the past, since July. So there's no reason you shouldn't be able to pick all of this shit up, It's, so that was the reason why I was one of the essential employees, because, girl, I wasn't fucking around like some of these other people. I was actually doing the job. But anyway, so now I'm looking for a new job. And, the people at Dulles are pissed. Like, pissed.
They'll be all right.
No. Like, they're pissed on my behalf.
Well, no, I get it.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
They still got a job.
But
no, they're pissed, like, going to bat for me. Probably not much that they can do, because this was like almost like a CEO level sort of thing, but they also have the ability to hire in their department. So, but there's a hiring freeze at United, so that's why nothing's going to happen.
I get that. But listen, stay tuned.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Mm-hmm. But
anyway,
in other news and what we talked about earlier today on Facebook, I hope you all took a look at the posting about the 90s R&B groups.
I am so ready for this, because I have been pondering over this. So are we going to each do this?
Yes.
You got a pen?
I know who I have in my head. I went through this. So I invited you all on.
Yeah, it's on our
show.
Facebook. Well,
please go onto the Facebook page, and it's shared with all of us. Yes.
Yeah, but it's like a Sweet 16
so
bracket.
If you are in the Facebook land, you can see this.
Yes. Or you can just follow along with us.
Yes.
All right. So here's the Sweet 16.
This is our version of sports ball, just so you all know.
Right. So we're just going to read from left to right, top to bottom. Boys to Men, New Edition, Mint Condition.
Well, wait a minute. Let's get that correct. Boys to Men versus New Edition.
I know, but I was going to say who all is in the Sweet 16
cool.
first. All right. Boys to Men, New Edition, Mint Condition, High Five, Silk, H-Town, Blackstreet, and Guy.
Versus Jodeci, Tony, 112, After 7, Drew Hill, Belle Biv DeVoe, Jagged Edge, and Next.
All right, so first up.
And they've already been paired.
They've already been paired. We did not come up with the initial pairing.
The initial pairing
because, sometimes it's like, East Bumblefuck versus Duke. So sometimes, that just happens.
Right.
So we got Boys to Men versus New Edition.
So
this was a tough one for me.
It really was. It really was.
Some of these, I'm like, yeah, girl, you out.
Right. It was very easy. But for this one, I chose.
Okay. I chose. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Boys
New Edition.
there's some dissension here because.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said New Edition. Honestly, I really meant to say Boyz II Men. So yes, so we're on the same page.
Okay, so Boyz II Men. All right, so we got Boyz II Men.
B2M. All right, so next mashup is Mint Condition versus High Five. I can even tell you a single thing High Five did. So of course it's Mint Condition.
I can tell you several things High Five has done, but I also chose Mint Condition.
I mean, all you got to say for Mint Condition is "You send me swangin'." That's all.
The whole fucking album. But anyway,
Right.
sorry.
Yes, actually, I did have that whole album. That album was
fucking
everything.
That's another one I can listen to from beginning to end.
Yes.
Forgot about that. Okay.
H-Town versus Silk. Knocking the boots. Yeah. For me, it's Silk.
I was going with Silk.
Okay.
This next pairing was
Blackstreet
another hard
versus
one.
Guy. Yeah, this is hard.
It was hard for
This
me.
is
Hard.
This is hard. So what for this one, I'm about to go with longest term. First of all, there would be no Blackstreet without Guy.
That is correct.
So in terms of longest impact on the industry and music itself, I'm going to go with Guy.
I went with Blackstreet.
Really? Why?
Because I felt like the quality of the music was more timeless and not so specific to a time period.
Okay, I can see that.
And I see it being more adult and not thematic or like just
Really?
I just
Okay, all right.
that's just for me.
I disagree.
And I
but-
also thought that Blackstreet had some better vocalists.
Okay.
Because listen.
Well, yes,
Aaron,
that is true.
Aaron
that
with
is true.
You know,
I liked Aaron's voice.
but half of Aaron's stuff is like, listen,
I
I'm gonna put
always-
this comparison together.
Right.
And listen, my fam, y'all know what I'm saying about this. Aaron is a visual person. Like, you can't just listen to him and say, "Oh my God, that boy can sing." I'm not saying he sings bad, but
Hey, Brian.
more visual stuff
Seven.
brings Aaron Hall to life for me. So that's why I went with Blackstreet.
All right. Although I used to joke that Aaron Hall and R. Kelly were the same person. All right, so let's get to this half of the bracket. All right, so now we've got Boyz II Men versus Mint Condition.
This is another tough one for me. But I'm gonna go with I am going to go with Mint Condition.
Okay, I'm filling this out for. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Because the musicality for me is amazing.
Yeah, I just think if we're talking about long term, at least for me, for long term impact, like people will still know like Boyz II Men songs. I don't think too many people like Mint Condition was cute for a minute and then they sort of fell off. And not the Boyz II Men didn't fall all the way off, but like here in 2020, people still know still know Boyz II Men songs, but they don't really know Mint Condition songs. Like a few 90s R&B heads might.
Okay, all right, but I still that's a very valid argument. But I'm still gonna go with Mint Condition.
All right,
that would be my choice.
All right, but I'm going with Boyz II Men. You can feel free to.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to I went to Mint Condition.
Yeah. So you got to at least fill out your final four.
All
right, so I had Silk versus you had Silk versus Blackstreet. So who you got?
Oh,
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna have to go with Blackstreet.
Oh, I would agree. I mean, even though I got Guy, Silk. I can only remember like one album that Silk had.
But I'm also thinking about the lead singer was the only one that really had something going on.
Yeah.
And with Blackstreet, while they had one person that was the soloist, all of them could sing because
yeah.
So I was like, okay, great. But that was my choice.
All right. So this other side, little maybe easier or more contentious. All right. Jodeci versus Tony. Jodeci. I mean, why are we? What? What?
I'm gonna go with Tony.
What?
Yes,
I cannot. I cannot believe
But you know
that.
what? Here's where I'll default to. We're saying 90s male R&B groups.
Yes.
I will say Jodeci was very, very 90s. I can't see them outside of the 90s at all, ever. Whereas Tony, I can see them, transitioning out of the 90s, which they have.
Yes.
But that's my call.
112 versus After 7. I'm about to go with After 7, even though I just felt like they were like a more mature group.
They were. But I was kind of going with 112.
Okay, all right, you got your list.
Yeah, I was going with
Well,
112.
all right, and then Drew Hill versus Bell Biv DeVoe. Come on, Drew Hill.
Drew Hill. Yeah, we agree on that.
But see, I thought we was gonna be down with
So, and I like
Jodeci.
After 7.
But no, it's all good. Jagged Edge versus Next. I mean, I don't really have a dog in this fight because I could care less.
I think I probably would
I guess
go
I'll go with Jagged Edge.
Yeah,
but,
Jagged Edge, yeah.
I mean, it's not like either one of them. I'm like, oh, I gotta.
So, 3T, 112, Drew Hill, and then I said Jagged Edge. Okay. So, now,
All right, so now Jodeci versus After 7. Well, for me,
yeah.
Jodeci versus After 7 is still Jodeci.
and so for me, it would be Tony against 112.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would actually go with Tony.
Okay.
And then between Drew Hill
And Jagged Edge, still Drew Hill.
yeah, it's close though. It's close
Really?
It's close for me because Jagged Edge they started doing more stuff towards the
I
end.
really only feel like I can remember 2 or 3 songs by them.
One of the Let's Get Married was one of their biggest
Yeah,
hits.
which I thought was the
And the
stupidest song
remix was
ever.
like,
The
but-
remix was cute, but the lyrics and everything was just dumb. All right, so still Drew Hill. So now, for me, this sets up this. So this left side, Boyz II Men versus Guy for me. Boyz II Men versus Guy.
if I had to choose on that pick, I would go with Boyz II Men.
I think I'm going with. That's what I think I'm going with Boyz II Men. And then who you got?
On this side, I have Mint Condition versus Blackstreet.
Mint Condition versus. I would go with Blackstreet.
Okay, because I would go with that.
Because for me, if you're talking about the most 90s, now if
yes.
it's the most 90s, Mint Condition was certainly sort of jazzy R&B, but Blackstreet was like definitive.
And you know what? Yes, I would get so. But I still feel like in my spirit I got to go with my Mint Condition though. I feel like I just. But okay, if we're going by 90s group,
That's what I'm going by. I mean,
okay.
you can choose whoever you like.
I'm gonna go with Blackstreet. It's 90s. Okay.
Okay.
So
All right. So then now this is a real problem for me. Although I know who I'm going to choose, I'll let you go first. So you got Tony versus
Drew Hill.
I would go with Drew Hill.
I'm going with Tony.
Okay.
I just feel like they're more adult, and
Sure. But for me, our 90s R&B was not about adults. Our 90s R&B was about teenagers.
Every last one of them talked about some song about fucking.
Yes, but I'm saying there's a difference between adults and looking back on it, it was a bunch of horny teenagers in early 20s versus adults. So like Mint Condition was certainly adult.
Yes.
Whereas, Jodeci and Drew Hill was talking with horny teenagers in early 20s and college age people talking about fucking. So now my final four is so I got Boyz II Men on one side. Now I got to choose between Jodeci and Drew Hill.
If I had to choose between the two of them, I think I would go with Jodeci.
Of course you go with Jodeci because Drew Hill is nothing but the great value Jodeci.
Did you just say the great value? Okay.
Drew Hill is the great value Jodeci.
You know what? Fight him. Call in 240-719-2560. If you have any comments about Drew Hill being the great value version of Jodeci, call in and let's hear what you got to say.
I remember when Jodeci came out. I mean, when Drew Hill came out, I was like, Drew Hill had new music. For a while, I thought it was Drew Hill. I mean, thought it was Jodeci. Because, what was his name?
From
Thong. What was his name?
Cisco.
Cisco sounded exactly like the one that beat up Mary J. Blige. What was his name?
I was going to call him Cricket, but it's not Cricket. It was is that Casey or JoJo? That's KC.
No, that's JoJo.
That's JoJo. Okay, JoJo. Yeah.
Oh, what's a KC?
KC was the other guy.
The one that looked like
The one that looked like a cricket is
the one that looked like a tall pile of shit. The lead singer, the one that was real skinny.
Right.
I guess that was KC.
Was that Casey or was
I think that was
JoJo?
KC. I don't know, child. We can look it
We're
up.
going to call him Cricket. So,
right,
Cricket, y'all know
anyway.
what we're talking about.
All right, so my final lineup is Boyz II Men versus Jodeci.
So, okay.
Now I'm going to have to go to what music, just their music catalog moved me the most. And that I still listen to today. And so for me, like Steel Toe, the winner for me is Jodeci.
I feel like I'm judging this incorrectly now. I want to go back and look at this again. Because here's my thing. So here's where I'm still having an issue with Boyz II Men versus Men Condition. When I talk about, when I look at it from
Cardinal,
the
that's
aspect
what
of-
I said, a tall pile of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and who was that scroll up again? Oh, someone wants to know the number. Our number is 240-719-2560.
Devontae, that wasn't Devontae Velvet. Devontae was in the background of Drew Hill.
Yeah, Devontae.
Yeah.
No,
Devontae Swing.
they was in Jodeci. Dalvin and Devontae were the other set. And you know their last name is the Great.
What?
Their family last name is the Great. So it was Dalvin.
Great what?
That was their family last name.
Dalvin
Dalvin and Devontae.
I can't do this. This is bullshit. I can't do that. I can't take all this. I can't take this. I can't take this tomfoolery. Don't say.
It's the Great.
I'm gonna go back and look at my bracket because I'm gonna have to re-examine this from again
Okay.
a '90s male group, meaning which one is very '90s. So I'm gonna go back and I'm going to choose between Boyz II Men and Mint Condition. I'm going to choose Boyz II Men
Okay.
to make them '90s. I'm fine with that. So I have Silk versus Boyz II Men. And if that's the case, I'm going to say between Blackstreet and Boyz II Men.
Now, see, yeah, I mean that's
90s.
they're about on the same level. But
but
Blackstreet is a little more 90s.
I'm going to edge them out at Blackstreet and still keep them there. But if on this side, if I talk about 90s, I'm going to have to go ahead and put Jodeci across here. So,
Okay.
So I have to do Jodeci.
Tony versus Jodeci is Jodeci.
Yes. And then Jodeci versus 112 would be
That might.
Jodeci.
But I feel like 112 was really. I mean, I guess that was 90s, but I still feel them like more early millennium. I feel like that was 2000 and 2001 in Atlanta Pride. That's what that feels like to me. That doesn't feel like late 90s to me.
So, okay. So, all right.
That's
here
just
we
to
are.
me. I could be wrong.
So, yeah. So, I looking at it again through that, I went back and put Jodeci. I chose Jodeci between Jodeci and Tony. And then I also chose Jodeci between Jodeci and 112.
Okay.
So, that left me with Jodeci against Drew Hill.
Okay, and who you got? So we got the same final two as Boyz II Men versus Jodeci.
This gets hard, though. This gets
Jodeci
hard.
versus Drew Hill?
Because Drew
Really?
Hill
So
was
what is-
very 90s, though. They were
But
very...
Jodeci, if you're gonna that whole sort of gravelly voice sound,
And Drew
Jodeci
Hill had
came
that too.
first.
They
But that's
just
what
had
I'm
blonde
saying.
hair with it.
Jodeci did that first, and I
So-
feel like they did it better.
But are we talking about male R&B groups
Yeah.
from the 90s?
Jodeci was definitely from the 90s.
Yeah, I think Jodeci's gonna edge them out. So okay, yes. So I'm
Okay.
I'm at
Boyz II
Blackstreet
Men.
and Jodeci. And
Oh,
of
you
this-
got Blackstreet versus
I got
Jodeci.
Blackstreet versus Jodeci. That's
All
what I
right, so
have.
who you got between Blackstreet
Of the
and
two of
Jodeci?
them, I will choose Jodeci.
Okay, so Jodeci
Jodeci is the winner on
is the
yeah.
agreed male R&B group.
From the Sweet 16. That's
That is
what we got.
our choice. I still say that Drew Hill is the great value Jodeci.
If y'all have complex feelings about that, call in. We'll talk about that. But now to some other complex feelings.
Yeah.
RuPaul.
Woo.
So listen, Ru is having one old year.
She did because
AJ
Child on
and the
the
Queen
got canceled. I haven't
from
watched it. I'm about to
Netflix.
watch it on
So the
Netflix.
first season went well, and people enjoyed it, but the second season got canceled, and it was whatever. But now season 12 Drag Race popped off,
Right.
And let's talk about the contestants first before we talk about
Right.
The,
All right.
the
Gigi
drama.
Good. Can't remember anything about her.
Gigi Good is the one from
look like a horse in the face. No, is she the one from France?
No. She's the one.
That's
who,
the young one that
Yeah, she's
said,
the ones that came
"I'm
out
only
in riding
21, and I
In
was
the
like,
riding-
bitch, you were
yes.
only 21?
She came out in the riding crop.
The
Yes.
roughest looking 21 I've ever
She
seen out of
was.
drag.
She was.
So
Yeah, she was.
All right, so she kind of looks like Raquel Welch. I don't know that that's a compliment, but that's what she looks like.
Yeah.
All right, Jada
Jada
Essence
Essence
Hall.
Hall.
I'm kind of seeing it, but she got to give it to me. Jan, don't see it for her.
Jan is like, she blends in the background to me.
Yeah, don't see it for her.
Britta.
Britta,
She
I
had the
see it for her a little bit.
Damn teeth ever. It's like, hi, my name is Britta. How are you?
She's cool. Widow Von'Du is my early favorite. Widow
She's a favorite.
Von'Du is
She's
my
a
early
favorite.
favorite. Yes. Listen, she gives energy. I'm like, bitch,
Yeah.
I'm tired of just watching you.
Yes, she gives energy.
Also, Rock'em Sakura,
Sakura.
gives me life, which whatever the Comme des Garçons outfit that
Oh,
she
yeah, the
wore
one that she
doing
made the-
that she painted the
yeah.
back and everything.
I'll give her- she's a lot of
she
talent.
gives
I'll give her that.
Although I am,
I hate the clown
So
makeup.
it started with who was the winner of that season?
Started with Trixie.
Before that, because what was the comedy queen that won?
Bianca?
Bianca, but it was light. She just had like a small thing. I mean, it started
paints,
growing.
Listen, Bianca paints in a funny way because she's an ugly woman. She can't do a beauty makeup. That's
But
what
I'm
she got
saying
going
that
on.
whole big white under eye thing.
That's just the bottom.
Yeah, but for her it was just a little bit, and then it started growing and growing and growing and growing, and now it's down fucking half of Rock'em Sakura's face, but the whole look is pulled together, so I see it.
Okay, Rock'em Sakura, she's all right. She's
Yeah.
all right.
Crystal Meth, I can't even tell you a single thing about her.
She had the red devil suit on, and
Like I said, I can tell you a
Yeah.
single thing about her.
she kind of,
Jackie Cox.
Jackie
I don't know who the
Cox,
fuck this-
she-
Oh
yeah,
yeah. I don't see it for her either.
I don't know.
I see it for
Nikki
Nikki.
Doll. So Nikki Doll.
This is the
giving me
French
very
one.
much- she's giving.
And
the
she's
French one.
she's like low key shady because like
Very. She's
in
giving
her
me-
in her aside, she's like, really?
She's giving me Miss Fame, and she's also giving me Violet Chachki with this.
Very
paint job.
Violet Chachki.
But she's giving me Miss Fame, which I didn't particularly care for.
Oh,
Something
but
about
she's
it I
definitely
didn't
giving me Violet Chachki.
Now,
I'm not seeing it for
Aiden
Aiden.
is one of my favorites.
Like
She-
out
when
of
she showed
drag,
up-
I was like, what
When
the
she showed up on stage and she did her little thing, she did it. Like I was like, she made an impression.
Although that was a very meaty tuck.
We not gonna.
Right.
That's her handicap.
All right.
Heidi in closet.
I like her personally,
She needs
but
to change this name.
she needs to change
She needs
that
to change this name
altogether.
It's just not working.
She was giving me very in her episode, in her premiere episode, she was giving me very, do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? She was giving me very Dorothy Gale in The Wiz. That with that little with the wig, and you can see with the little curly wig, and you can see the line and
Yeah,
everything. I was like, she was really giving me Dorothy Gale
That
in The
baby
Wiz.
needs some help, and she might be the Shangela of this season because she has a lot of talent.
She could.
She has
and
a lot of
knows-
potential, and so maybe she'll work that out.
Right.
Hopefully,
Dahlia
Dahlia Sin.
I guess.
So listen,
We'll
House
see.
of Aja, I fucks with you all because you are giving me a ballroom scene a little bit, but I'm something about Dahlia I'm not really feeling.
Yeah, I don't see
And
it
she
for her.
says herself she's a Luke queen. That's fine, but that don't work for me. She
Yeah.
needs to be able to do something else.
Now that brings us to Sherry Pie.
Let's get to everybody else first. And
That
come
was
back to
everybody else.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, yes, you're right. So Sherry Pie,
All right.
Miss Sherry Pie, aka
Blue flip, blue flip, flip, flip.
aka
Joy Guglielmi.
Guglielmi. Joey Guglielmi.
Yes.
Joey Guglielmi, known by his drag name Sherry Pie, is alleged to have deceived his former classmates at SUNY Cortland in New York, as well as actors he worked with in the Nebraska Theater Company. But the part of this that you need to understand is that she's already been disqualified from this season 12, because the TV execs announced that there were allegations that 5 men
Originally 5.
There were allegations originally from 5 men that she catfished them, basically.
Yes.
And so by the time this came to light, which was the airing of the second episode,
Yes.
They had already, VH1 and everybody from the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race had made a statement that said, in light of recent developments and Sherry Pie's statement, Sherry has been disqualified from RuPaul's Drag Race. Out of respect for the hard work of other queens, VH1 will air the season as planned. Sherry will not appear in the grand finale, scheduled to be filmed later this spring. So I have had several people that have said stuff like, well, that means she went all the way to the end. No, that don't mean that she went all the way to the end. That just means that she's not going to be coming back at all as any contestant, wherever she was in the thing. She very well could have gone because she has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And the article that I actually found on,
it was on BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed said that she actually, it kind of went through this whole entire
They did a 60-minute style expose on this. I was like, they
did a whole, and they sent the receipts of the screenshot and everything. And I felt bad because she actually had one of these young men actually sent her a videotape while she was masquerading as this other persona, which was
a female
named Allison Mossy.
Yeah, a female casting.
As female casting, as she allegedly said that, well, not allegedly at this particular point. She actually said that they were looking for they were looking for people to be considered for a musical role in a version of A Nightmare Before Christmas, which was one actor's. I can't even talk today. Right. Sherry started catfishing these men by saying that there was a production of a show called Big or Bigger, and it was talking about gay men and how they had this obsession with getting bigger. And so
Lola gets remember Lola, the beautiful woman with the silver hair from the Gear Show?
Yes. Hey, Lola.
Said her drag name was gonna be Meaty Tuck.
That's cute. That's cute.
Yes. Hold on to that. Listen, you need to patent pen that right now.
Right.
You need to copyright that right now.
So anyway, in this film version, in this role, and it wasn't Bigger. It was called Bulk. Mm-hmm. About a man who became larger and larger by taking steroids. One of a few of the actors actually sent her videos of them masturbating.
Yeah.
And so towards the end, when she actually asked one of the additional two people who said that they were catfished by her, who was going to be coming up to New York and bought a bus ticket to come up, he just stopped communicating with her. Yeah. And he was like, I feel like I'm being catfished. And he was right. He unfriended her on Facebook and everything. But Sherry Pie, girl, like...
And then his little apology,
that's the part that's key.
Yeah.
So, he says...
Well, he started here.
Right. So, okay. In a statement on Facebook on Thursday night, Guglielmelli said that he was sorry that he caused so much trauma and pain. I know the pain and hurt that I have caused will never go away, and I know what I did was wrong and truly cruel. Guglielmelli also said he was seeking help and receiving treatment. He said, I truly apologize to everyone I have hurt with my actions. I also want to say how sorry I am to my sisters of season 12 and honestly the whole network and production company. The part of this whole thing, while I think it was heartfelt, the part that you said that you were seeking help and receiving treatment.
For being an asshole?
What is that? What are you seeking help for? What are you getting treatment for? I didn't know that there was a pill for being an asshole. I didn't know that. Like,
I mean, you may be going into therapy, but I feel like
it maybe is. I guess at this particular point, it maybe you can consider him a predator, but
consider.
Well, you have the actions of a predator.
At a minimum. I mean, so
this is very predatory.
We're broadening the description of predator. So yes. In as much as he didn't touch nobody, so no one got physically assaulted, but he fucked with people's livelihood, and you made false promises. So he's definitely an emotional predator.
Okay.
Yes.
So okay. All right.
And this feels to me like this all just came out right before the episode, right? So this wasn't something
as of March 6th.
Right, so right before the second episode.
Yes.
So this whole, because the first episode was that last Friday in February.
That is correct.
So this was the second episode. So what kind of treatment have you been seeking, and how have you learned all of this lesson? Whatever. This is like I got caught, so now I have to issue.
That's what you're doing.
A statement.
So
I do appreciate it when people apologize, and I really feel like what's the point of asking people to apologize if we don't accept it? But I feel like you don't have enough distance from this, and I feel like it's too soon for you to have learned lessons from the situation. It's like you get caught stealing or doing, and then immediately you're like, I've learned my lesson. I'm a much better person now. Well, girl, that just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So you don't even have enough emotional distance from the situation to be like, oh, I've learned my lesson. Yeah, girl, bye.
Vonalore. Hey.
So,
call me. Text me back.
Based on
Let's chit chat.
Based on where we are with the show now, we're only on episode 2. Let me see. Some early favorites. Of course, Widow.
Widow's an early favorite.
Widow is an
we
early.
both agree on that. I also like.
You like Aiden.
I like Aiden Zane as well.
I like
as
Nikki.
a favorite.
I kind of see it a little bit for Heidi in Closet because I just think she's got like some talent.
She's an underdog, and so she's definitely a She gets the Shangela Award as far as I'm concerned.
And
she gets
Rock'em Sakura.
Rock'em Sakura, I like her personality.
4. Yeah.
But I don't know this paint. I don't know about this paint. I just don't know about this paint.
I just felt like it was.
I know Trixie won with that type of look, but I don't know about that.
And I just like his personality too.
Rock'em was he seems I can't say I would hang out with him, but he seems like he would.
I don't know. I would hang out with any of these girls except maybe Widow.
I would definitely hang out with Widow, and I would definitely hang out with Jaden Dior Fierce because she's shady.
Jada Essence Hall.
I'm sorry, Jada Essence. She's shady, and I like that. I'll be sitting back like, all right, girl. If you can't say nothing nice, come sit right next to me.
Right.
So come on, Jada, come sit next to me because I'm gonna need to listen to all the stuff you're gonna say because I know you're saying some shit.
Right.
And even what's her face, I would have her sit next to me. Dahlia. Come right on over here, girl. Sit in the
Dahlia Sin, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who are your favorites again?
Widow, Heidi, Rock'em Sakura, and Nikki.
All right. And I'm going with Widow, Aiden, and I kind of like, and I also said I like, who the hell is, Rock'em Sakura, her personality.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I thought Nicki Minaj did a great job, and she gave like really good critiques.
Why don't you like my face?
I didn't say.
What about my face you don't like?
I didn't like the way you painted your face. As far as I didn't like your face, Jesus, calm down, girl. But I thought Nicki gave like really good critiques, and just was generally one of the better judges that they've had on Drag Race because I feel like she gave information to each of them that was helpful and could move them forward. So
okay, shout out to Ross as well because I like Ross.
Yes,
Ross Matthews is doing very well on the show. I think he balances out what's her face. Michelle Visage. And not that they're opposite ends of the spectrum, but they just balance each other out.
Yeah.
When one goes high, one goes low. But they work well together. I think together they're giving you constructive criticism that you can actually use. It may not be the way it comes out, may not be that flattering at times, but it's definitely for, it's love.
Yes.
So, but anyway.
All right, so
we can't we can't have this show without mentioning the current state of affairs where we are in this world right now.
676.
Yeah, the corona, you got me saying corona. The coronavirus, the World Health Organization actually has deemed this as a global pandemic. And for many of you, I want you to understand that an epidemic versus a pandemic, there's a difference. An epidemic is defined as a regional outbreak of an illness that spreads unexpectedly, and a pandemic is the worldwide spread of a new disease. And it affects large numbers of people. So, the World Health Organization has now termed the coronavirus as a pandemic. So, I need for people to be aware of their surroundings, be aware of your health situation, be aware of your whatever your immune system issues or struggles are, whether it's compromised or not. Be aware of that. Take some steps to take care of yourself, because a lot of people have said, including a few of our leading American scientists, that this is actually going to get worse. And that's probably going to be before it actually gets better.
Right.
You have the Chancellor Angela Merkel of Germany saying that the coronavirus will likely affect about 2/3 of the German population. There's 60 cases in India. They've closed their borders. Italy is just shut down.
India closed their borders? I didn't see that.
No, Italy.
You said India.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
India has closed their borders as well. Italy has also closed their borders.
Well, I knew about Italy.
Yes, the two of them
Italy
have.
shut down their whole fucking country.
And so, with India specifically, they're suspending virtually all visas until April 15th. And I
Right.
think Italy is probably around the same as well.
Yeah.
But again, that's where we are across the country. Things to know, just to keep in mind, the best way to prevent illness
Wash
is to
your
avoid being
hands.
exposed to the virus. Wash your hands with soap and water. Somebody gave me sent me a Facebook clip where if you wash your hands while you're singing a theme song to the Golden Girls.
No. Did
that
you
should be
see?
20 seconds?
Yes, but did you see what Majin Buu posted
No.
today? Do you see what says someone on Twitter whose name is Majin Bussy? So I thought that was hilarious. All right, so this is how the gays fight coronavirus. So start washing your hands. And when it finally did come down, Marjorie, my sister caught that baton, and 12,000 people jumped to their feet for 16.5 minutes of uninterrupted thunderous ovation as flames illuminated her tear-stained face. And that, Marjorie, just so you will know, and your children will someday know, is the night the lights went out in Georgia.
If any of you don't even know where that's from,
Then
I'm
we
sorry.
can't be friends.
I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what's wrong with the way you was brought up. You grew up in a bad household. I don't understand.
Yes, you need to smack
You need
your
to go
gay
back,
mother,
yeah,
your
just-
gay
just-
father,
just somebody.
your big dyke auntie.
Listen,
somebody
Julia
did
Sugar
you wrong.
Baker will go down in
That is
history.
the Reed of Reeds.
Anyway,
So so
that's on our list of. Yeah, that's on our list of weekend of.
oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So wash your fucking hands. Now let me tell you one thing about working in the airport that I will not miss. People are filthy. Well, at least men are, and I'm told that women are equally as filthy. When I tell you, so like the cleaners come by like whenever there's most airports aren't constantly busy. They have like
Down periods.
yeah, they call them banks.
Okay.
So when a bank comes through, madness in the airport, and then it's like deathly quiet. It's like a ghost town for 2 or 3 hours or more until the next bank comes in. Shall, if you go to that bathroom during the bank, I'd be like, well, y'all just peeing right on the floor. I mean, it's not even an attempt. I mean, because it's not like I guess if 100 people like leave a drop on the floor, but the floor is like wet. And so like I'm with this wide ass stance trying not to have my feet in a puddle of piss on the floor. And I cannot tell you how many dudes I've saw come in, off the urinals or even worse, out the toilet and just walk right out the bathroom.
And not even wash your funky, nasty, pissy hands.
Not at all.
No,
And
nasty varmint.
nasty, shitty hands. And
That! I watched someone I work with did that one time. I was in the bathroom. I just got finished using the stall, and using the urinal. And as he came out of the stall, because he wasn't pissing, because I was in there long enough to hear, because he's already in there. And I was like, you walked out, and you're like, hey, how you doing? I was like, I'm fine, how are you? He's like, I'm good. Asked me a
Just
couple
kept it
questions.
moving.
And he was like, all right, see you later. And I'm sitting there like, what?
nasty
You
motherfucker.
didn't wash your fucking hands?
You did not wash your hands. And
So
listen,
I stopped shaking his hand. After that dad never shook his hand after that. He'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like,
what's up, bruh?
"Gotta go." Yeah.
And let me tell you, and so they're filthy as fuck in the bathroom. And people have bought out hand sanitizer, but not soap.
Listen, let me go on in and put the rest of this out here because the hand sanitizer is one thing, and that works for probably about 20 seconds to like a minute.
Yeah.
And that's really it. But anyway, wash your hands as often as you can. Use hand sanitizer if you're going to use it that contains at least 60% alcohol. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid close contact.
With unwashed hands.
Yes, with unwashed hands. Thank you. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Put distance between yourself and other people if the coronavirus is spreading in your community. And again, this is especially important for people with a higher risk of getting very sick. So if you have a compromised immune system in any way, shape, or form, again, be aware of that. Take steps to also protect others. Stay home if you're sick. God, don't come into work like you have to. We have someone that actually was on a cruise for like 14 days and came back in the office, and his ass is in there just coughing and sneezing. I'm like, are you going to go home? But that's okay, because I'm in my little annex, our little bubble, we keep our door closed. But okay.
Right.
Cover your mouth and nose if you do sneeze or if you do cough. Throw used tissues in the trash, and immediately wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Again, the lights that the night the lights went out in Georgia, the theme song to the Golden Girls. Do all this while you wash your hands with soap and hot water, please. And if you want to, you can add a hand sanitizer after that.
Right.
If you are sick, wear a face mask
Yes.
when you're around other people, and before you enter a healthcare provider's office. And then if you're not sick, you don't need to wear a face mask unless you are caring for someone who is sick.
Right.
Face masks may be in short supply, and they should be safe for caregivers. And then also, when you get home, touch and disinfect or
Clean and disinfect.
I'm sorry, not necessarily when you get home. When you get home and you're at work, clean and disinfect frequently touch surfaces daily. So tables, doorknobs, light switches, countertops, handles, desk phones, keyboards, toilets, faucets, sinks. Clean it, wipe it off, just to help you out, help everybody else out.
Also, so what was I going to say? So, all right, so we got 5 minutes left. Let's talk about, like shit is getting canceled. So, like for the NBA, NCAA,
Yes.
they're going to play those games without audiences.
Classes.
Only the players and limited family member attendance. Lots of schools are going to distance learning. So, like, because I went to Florida A&M University, in our little group me, they're talking about now that professors need to be prepared to convert all of their classes to distance learning. And I'm like, that shit don't work for some stuff because I don't know how much you know about architecture, but architecture is an art and a science. So the science part you can do. So you do history, you do physics, you do all that shit, whatever. But the art part of it, like actually reviewing drawings, so you're given a project, you say design a new hospital. Usually we're all sitting in class, from the classes are like 2 from 5 p.m. And then the professor walks around and looks at the status of your design and offers you criticism, it's called a crit, on where your design stands. It's kind of hard to do that when y'all are miles apart. So, you think about classes like, art classes, like if you're getting your, MFA and you got this sculpture class and, when you're working on a sculpture, the professor's like, here's a little, or whatever the fuck they say. I mean, some things just aren't conducive to distance learning. So, but what I want to talk about is some of these upcoming leather and fetish events. Like, so, and I'm not going to name this particular event, but one of my brothers we're going to an event in a couple of weeks, and
Stay safe out there.
he was like, "Do you think the event is going to be canceled?" I was like, "I don't think so." And then I was like, "And even if it does, girl, we rented a house with a pool and a hot tub, so we will just sit in that fucking pool as long as none of us are sick, we'll
Then
just sit in that
everybody's
fucking
fine.
pool in the hot tub and just chill for the week." But that event is different. So I'm thinking like large events, and again, I'm not gonna call names because I don't want to put particular fear of any event in for any person. But I have been thinking recently. I was like, people go to these events and already come back talking about they got the kennel cough, or whatever. And people already, we know for a fact, don't bathe and shit because that's part of the aesthetic that you want to have natural man smells. And it's already hoes with compromised immune systems and all other kinds of foolishness. Not to single out IML specifically, but they've had outbreaks of meningitis after IML. They had
MAL
flu, not meningitis though.
Well, MAL was not meningitis. What's the other one? The kissing.
Mono.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you had these things where people gather in large groups. So, I am seriously considering if I'm going to attend some of these things over the next few months. I mean, there's still a little bit of time to decide. So I haven't made any financial commitment other than reserving a hotel, which can be rescinded.
Right.
So, so I don't know. We'll have to see how things are going, for a few weeks before we make a decision. So,
Do you want to chat?
all right, so quickly. All right, so I posted a picture of one of our pledges who experienced my rubber band. So for anyone in Onyx Mid-Atlantic particularly, but other chapters in general, we use these rubber bands. And this dude tried to come for me. So here's the bottom line. Stay in your lane and only speak about things that you know, because otherwise you will get read. And when I read for points. I don't really read for points, but I read, for thoroughness and accuracy.
All the touch points are covered.
Yes.
But anyway.
So, the BGK8 show streams live on Wednesdays on www.voxwave.com from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern and 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Just search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGK8 show with Dominion and Epic. You can also find us on SoundCloud as well as iTunes. Currently, we are able to host a live studio audience, but if you can't be in our audience, you can call and chat with us at 240-719-2560. One more time, 240-719-2560. And Epic, how can the kids get in contact with you?
On Facebook, you can find me if you search for Epic Onyx. On Instagram, you can find me at I am Epic Onyx. And on Instagram, and on Twitter, you can find me at Epic Onyx 1. How can they reach you?
At Dom Onyx on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Dom Onyx, and www.domonyx.com. And so with that, we will thank you all for tuning in and wish you a good night.
Mwah. Stay safe out there.
Please. And wash your fucking hands.